Playing again? All right. Oh my. Holy, sorry about that, everybody. Yeah, we were all ready to go, and Beans had to take a poop. She came up and told me in her bean language that she had to go outside immediately, and so here we are. Pretty late, but we're here. I am super sick, and my headphones are dead. That's trolly also. Wanted to play music, but these are not working. That's okay. Are they awake? Good enough. Good enough. We're here anyway. I appreciate you guys waiting and tuning in. Man, rough times. We're here. Quite a week. I don't know how long the stream will be. We're going to do our best to cover some stocks, some gold, some Bitcoin, some goodies. I'm here. That's right. What's up, Pickle? Good to see you, brother. Doing my best. I'll tell you that. I'm doing my best. I don't know. Whatever it was Monday has progressed from kind of some stomach problem to sinus. Hopefully I'm good to go on Monday. Gotta check out that new apartment on Tuesday, the new house. So yeah, gotta get well. I'll do some resting over this weekend, but for now, here we are. Man, oh man. The Dow, in shocking news, thanks for this, Kato. In shocking news, the Dow is back under 50K, and so resume the investigations, I think, is the consensus here. Don't you know that the Dow is over 50,000? Don't you know? What a crazy timeline we live in. Just a ridiculous timeline. But we live in it, and we're here. Dow's pulled back from the highs of the 50,000. You know, markets, I don't know. I feel like markets feel a little toppy. 50K, the yelling about 50K is just so reminiscent of every kind of local top or top in markets. Pulled back a little bit here. Certainly not anything to go on to say markets have topped, at least on the DJI, by the chart right now. You know, all-time highs, we pulled back. We're still holding on to the weekly low. It looks like stocks are actually closing the week down, but not the most brutal close down ever. We can see on Monday of last week, even we had a similar, not Monday, early January, we had a similar weekly candle followed by a similar kind of hanging man doji candle, and that recovered and moved to all-time highs again. So probably not by the chart, maybe only by the vibe. Our top's in for now. Oh my. I don't know though. What do you guys think about the SPX trade? What do you think about this? You know, we placed this a long time ago. There's been many times since where I thought this was cooked, and it seems like it's still moving. Seems like it's still in play here. We have how many? This is like a Bitcoin move at this point. Moved to all-time highs. I'll say we did it December 29th. Here we are 46 days later. And while we have broken two new highs, it's pretty much just the same level. Pretty much just the 7,000 level. This feels to me like distribution. Feels to me. Moved to all-time high. You know, like we look at the SPX, and since January of last year, our all-time highs have largely been these waves, kind of these pushes up, retracements, pushes up, retracements, pushes up, retracements, pushes up. The kind of bullish trending behavior. We've seen that largely throughout all of 25, most of 25, and it seems to just kind of be slowing down here. Now, why 7,000? Well, why not? It is the 1618 extension from 2025's move. Sits right here. Now, I will play fair and say, originally, I may have placed that short, not doing the due diligence I should have, because I think I was like in the mindset of, okay, the 1618, that's what happened last time we had this move. Let's look for the same move. However, that was actually at the measured move, at the 2 extension, not the 618. You can see that was actually a little bit lower. For that full 2 measured move target, that'd be 7,500. I think that is an excellent place to look for a short trade if we get there, right? However, the 1618 does kind of feel like it is in play and doing doing maybe the short here. It's kind of wild. The fact that this has been unable to find bids higher despite no sell-off, despite all-time highs, is kind of concerning for continuation of upward trajectory. Now, you guys have heard me yell about how uncertain markets are for a year and change now. I don't believe that they are any more uncertain, honestly, than they were all throughout the last year. So I'm not going to put uncertainty as a catalyst here. I think markets are roughly the same level of uncertain as they were probably all throughout last year. Kind of catalyst to the downside. We've even heard, I feel like the rhetoric has changed from, we're talking about like invading Poland, right? It feels like the rhetoric has changed on a global scale to at least kind of pull back maybe from rocking the globe. We haven't heard about tariffs a lot. The news and kind of these headlines seem focused elsewhere. So I don't have a great catalyst for this. We don't always need it. However, this move would be a wonderful opportunity if this short plays out. Down to 61.63, looking for a very clean extension, backtest of previous resistance, and maybe then trucking on to that 7,500. That'd be quite a play. Quite a trade. Stocks are just largely unchanged at this point. Really, all the attention should go to where it is due, and in my opinion, that is gold. Gold rocking this 5,000 still. While it's never a great sign to see a massive sell-off in any market that isn't immediately retraced, gold is painting the stairs back up, painting the direction back up. We have a series of higher lows and a series of higher highs that are roughly a flat resistance. Roughly, it's not perfect, but about 5,100 is probably a good way to look at it. Each sell-off being bid up and maintaining price. Buyers pushing back to resistance. Profit takers coming in, unsure of retaking all-time highs in the short term. So they're coming in here. But gold looks largely solid. I think it looks solid. We have seen this play out the other way. Obviously, we have seen this pattern fail. No pattern is 100%, guys. A lot of new traders jump in and think like, oh, it's a head and shoulders, so it has to go down. All patterns are just a probability, and a good pattern is one that can give you any kind of edge. 54% over 46%. There you go. That's a good edge. Any edge at all beyond a coin flip. And this pattern tends to do that. This pattern, at least in crypto, and I'll say just in general, this pattern tends to play out in my observation like 70% of the time, 60, 70% of the time. I would put the odds of gold breaking up around there, about 60, 70%. 60, 70%. Yeah, that sounds good. Where to? Lower high, maybe back to retest the highs. We'll see. I think that's too many steps ahead at the moment to really jump into. But gold is looking good, and this is in a pretty interesting frame, as people have been incredibly bullish on metals. The exuberance and the euphoria, I think, has slowed down a little bit since the sell-off. We saw some incredibly crazy metals talk at the end of January, and then kind of the opposite of that coin, the fear, the other side of the coin, the euphoria met with the extreme fear, and now back to where we are. Gold, I think, like I said, has a good chance of breaking to the upside. And what I said in comparison or contrast to silver, which still seems to struggle to find bids. Now, we know here, we've followed crypto markets forever on this channel. We're pretty familiar with euphoria. We're pretty familiar with that amazing feeling. And I'll tell you, I'm still jealous of you silver and gold guys for getting any of it this cycle. We're used to dealing with that. What we saw at the end of January, I think, is aging pretty well into solid market euphoria. If you remember, as we streamed through these highs, how many times when we would say, oh, like 100, 120, how often that was met with anger, and not just anger, because not everybody was angry, but also just kind of this logical defiance, this logical denial that we are all guilty of as well in other markets, certainly myself with Bitcoin, maybe even right now, right? But the logical defiance of, okay, we've made this insane move up. people are beginning to revise their calls up. That is always a sign of at least a local top coming, if not a bigger top. Market moves up and the price is we reprice. We say, oh, silver's at 100. Now silver's going to go to 500. Silver's going to go to 1,000, 2,000. While those numbers are possible, it is the act of the repricing as it moves up is just a telltale sign of euphoria and a telltale sign of profit taking being a good idea. As we were up here at 120, I remember on Twitter, on YouTube, here in the chat, we had a lot of trolls. We had a lot of people with some very strong opinions talking about the price of silver in China. Remember in Shanghai, you guys actually linked me that. What's up, Castra? Opinion on Bitcoin pump? We'll look at Bitcoin next, don't worry. You guys linked me at the Shanghai price of silver. You remember it was just like anytime we talked about profit taking, it's like, well, the price in China. And that's logical, you know? It's not a stupid thing to reference. Yeah, if people are paying higher elsewhere, it is logical that it's still a good buy at this price, right? I agree. But it's that logical denial or kind of removal, maybe from what's in front of you, of like, when was that going to stop, right? If silver just kept going up, that premium would still probably be there. There's still likely be a higher price in Shanghai, and people would still be saying, well, the price is 150, 160, 170 in Shanghai. And so whatever it is here, if it's lower, it's a good price. On this channel, I hope you guys did well through this run. I'm still not going to say stick a fork in it. It's not done. But silver is the stark contrast to gold. You are not seeing that same recovery. This is a very different picture. If anything, silver's kind of painting maybe a megaphone. I've often heard these referenced as bullish megaphones. I've never really seen them play out bullishly. Megaphone pattern. We see our lows moving down with our highs moving down and kind of a broadening, right? The moves are getting more unwound. They're not tight like they were on the way up. Very tight bids, very tight asks. Sell-off buyers come in. It would pump, sellers would come in, keeping price very tight. This is the kind of an unraveling here. The same thing is in play for silver, the same validation, the same confirmation that we've been looking for. Until you break 92, and you can move the goalpost here, and you can say, well, now you only have to break 86, but I would caution against that. I would still say 92. Until you can break to a new high, silver is just stuck in what looks like a blow-off top into euphoria, into hype. Biggest sell-off ever. And now the problem, or the scary part, and why I say this is appearing to be much less bullish than gold, is the failed high. Buyers came in and can only rocket back to 92. They were buying at 122, and now they're saying, I don't know, 92 isn't really, maybe that's risky. Sellers took it down again to another level, and we haven't seen the high break. Here we are potentially at a higher low into the weekend. Maybe we can open Monday and make another run upwards. But until 92 is broken, silver for me is just definitively less bullish than gold. Definitively. This is not tight, not kind of high volume price action that we've been seeing. There's definitely a change in energy or momentum, and even a change in sentiment. I really haven't been hearing people call for silver higher now. However, let's go back to being bullish because it's more fun when numbers go up. If silver does retake its all-time high at 121, we might be looking for some big numbers up here. The 1618 extension from that move would be 180. The 2 would be like 230. It's interesting because like 230 to 250 was our next target if 122 was going to break. There we go with like more confluence. Hopefully some of you guys did well on this. Hopefully some profit taking at 100 and 122. I know you guys remember me saying this. I know probably you scoffed at it a few times saying, well, we're going to sell at 120, 100, you know, like silver's going so much higher. Hopefully you guys did take some profit. Just lock it in. Remember, I never preach all in or all out. I like to layer, I like to take little pieces, lock something in. So in the crazy event that the asset goes down 50% almost in a few days, that you can maybe add to your stack. Maybe you can buy back, have a little bit more of that asset, maybe lower your cost average, whatever it is. So far this is aging really well, but until silver can retake 92, I think pretty much everything would be pointing downward, would be pointing towards the 53 ish area, maybe down to 50 flat. At that point, I think that there is a good play for a bounce. However, man, this my confidence in this would be shattered at that point. If we came back down to all-time highs, it would just feel like the reason that I would feel it's such a loss of confidence is simply this energy is not going to be here down here. In fact, this energy is going to be down here selling, panic selling. They panic bought and they're going to panic sell once you hit these levels. Moving down to 50 without at least kind of like, I don't know. No, just moving down to 50 period right now, to me would cement this as some kind of blow off top, some kind of end of the rally. Well, you'd likely get a bounce of 50. For me, I'd probably not be so interested. Let's go over to the corn. The corn's having a nice little day. We jumped through a little bit of stocks, a little bit of gold, a little bit of silver. I'm doing very well for me. I'm very sick. I don't know if you can hear it, but I'm pushing through. Coin on a rip. Yeah, I saw that, like, something about Brian Armstrong is going to sell like $200 million worth of their stock or something. And then I looked and it was a green day and I was like, huh, that's markets, bro. It's all bullshit. Bitcoin having a little green day. Yo, Mr. Casper. Mr. Casper jumping in. Shout out to my guy, Jason. I haven't seen you in a little bit, man. Saying 47 is a buy for you. There it is. There it is. I'll take that as confluence. I'm not sure because we obviously never really watch anyone else's content when you're a streamer. You just got too much shit to do. But I'm assuming you're feeling kind of the same vibe here. You know, we have gold just setting the stage here with a very different pattern versus silver. Silver just doesn't seem to have the buyers that gold has. And it's hard to argue upwards until you've seen like 92 retaken. After that, you can, I don't know, back test it. You can look to retest the high. There's ways that plays out. But for me, it's just, you know, I'm going to wait till 92 happens. Until then, I'm just going to keep kind of expecting to see it trade down. That's how I'm seeing it. What's up, Nut, Mr. Casper? What's up, James, Cake Face? Fake out into the weekend could be. You know, we have like the false move Monday, and then I guess we also have like fake out into the weekend. At what point is it just like every day is like is bearish for Bitcoin? Seems that way lately. We'll look at coin. I'll pull it up then. Let's look at Bitcoin first though. We doodled this a few days ago. I still think this is what's happening. Bitcoin and silver were kind of yin and yanging down into those moves. And Bitcoin now not breaking lower, at least for the moment. I think that is more likely to parity gold here with this move. Retesting 71.4, probably rejecting, looking for buyers, hoping those buyers come in higher. And a breakout from 71.5, still the same target. I think you're looking at like 80.5, upwards of what, like 84. We look at the CME gap, probably like 84, something like that. Damn. What do we even have going on here? Market cipher beef. Free. No, I don't want to rip off free version. Psh. Okay. A little bit less sell pressure here on the day. Money flow is in the red, but it looks like momentum. VWAP coming back up here. Daily oversold down at the wick low. No divergence on the day. Unless you go back all the way to here. It's probably not valid. 380 days. Yeah, it's probably not a valid divergence. Here's something. Here's something here. A little spice. Oversold from the sell-off at the low in February. RSI recovered out of oversold. And this is looking a little bit like a swing rejection. You're oversold. You leave the oversold status. You move back to there, but you hold it. We have seen some really strong reversals both to the upside and downside when it comes to these swing reversals. In fact, here you go. Here's one. Here's a perfect example. Wow. I'm so sick. All-time high in October. You can see right here into January. RSI. Oh, wait, no, that's not swing reversal. My bad. It almost was. We haven't oversold, so no, it's not swing reversal. I was going to say right here, we failed to break into overbought, and that was a nuke. Big old nuke. 200 week sits below us, right at the trend line, 58K. Wouldn't it be just the craziest thing, though, if we just didn't do this? We didn't come down to the 200 week. How many people are planning on buying at the 200 week? I think many. There's a lot of orders there. That would be, this is like the time. Honestly, I think this is the time for Bitcoin to make a bounce. I really have little hope that that bounce, goes to all-time high or something. But I think that this is the moment to move higher. Get all of these buyers that are at the 58K level, 200 week level, and get them to buy higher. Get them to jump in closer to 80, closer to 100,000, wherever this ends up, just to sell off into that liquidity. I think that makes sense. That's the barrio. Yeah. The scenario, something like that. I think it makes sense. And it also just seems as if there's no bounce here at this level, where are we going? We're just like at this pace, we'll just go to zero. Going to zero. But at this like kind of momentum and acceleration, gotta have something. Gotta be. We check in over on the fractal. Where'd you go, fractal? Over on the fractal, this price action is largely unsurprising, maybe. Largely unsurprising. Hit a low. Now looking for consolidation, maybe slightly higher highs before selling off. According to the fractal, I think that looks decent. I wonder when this will break, though. This can't keep following it forever. Sell-off's already a little more extended than the pattern. We got on the week. Closing another red week, maybe. By Sunday, looking for 70K. Trade above 70K, back to a green week. I don't remember like a big time frame closing like this with like big red candles and then a tiny red with a higher low on the wick. I don't remember that like any time recently. Back here. Here. Kind of interesting, actually. Kind of interesting. In the last few examples of big red candle into tiny red candle with a higher low wick, we get reversals. Still plenty of time, don't jinx it. Still tons of time to end up anywhere. The weekly, it just looks cooked. Money flow on the week turned red right here in January. Yikes. This is the last time this happened. Down here. In May of 22. And the time before that, wow. The time before that was right here. That's actually really cool. That's interesting. Check this out. So, money flow flipping red on the weekly time frame has only happened over the last like 10 years. A handful of times. 1, 2, 3. Well, we won't count these little guys. 4 times. Right here in the last few weeks. Right here. Right there. It was right here. Turned red. And then all the way back here turned red. I guess we can count this one too. But I'll go with these two in the current one. What's kind of cool is when they turned red on the week, we saw basically like one more push down. In 2017, it went from 6K to 3K. Price halved. Money flow flipped red, but the bottom was in. Yeah, it took a long time, but the bottom was in then. After that move. We zoom over to 22. And, here's an example of the exact candles I was just saying. Long red, tiny red, did not lead to a reversal. But it did signal one more move down, realistically. I mean, this was technically 2, but largely 1. Most of the downside was within 2 weeks of the fall. And we only traded like 10% lower after that. What's interesting to me is that the last 2 good examples of this was right into the bear market. And thankfully, like more than halfway, definitely more than halfway, and kind of suggestive of like one more move down wherever that brings us. And we would maybe already have that move down, right? If it turned red right here. Turned red right here, we have the move down. What did we do? 40. If it moves 50% down like it did seemingly kind of in the other ones, 47, 50K, not bad. That's wild. Here we are in the shitter. In the shitter. What's up, Poochie? What's up, Steve? Dude, all the other YouTubers are here, man. What's up, Steve? Jason was here. Steve's here. We got all the OGs. That's right, Wick. You're one of them now. What's up, Jeff? Pooch, David. Somebody's super chat. I didn't see it. $5. What's up, Red Wave? If you have dry powder on the side, should we wait more? Mark Crash or buy more? I mean, it depends, dude. It depends on what's your patience level at, you know? Are you somebody who, you know, you're trying to buy now and be up shortly? That might work out for you for a little bit. If you're looking for something where you're like buying it and walking away, you're probably waiting for lower. This is probably not the lowest that Bitcoin will trade this year. I would love to be wrong. Knock on wood. We'll see if we can start retaking highs. But here's a good idea. Instead of just throwing all of your dry powder at one price, which is all in, if this is lower than your cost basis, why don't you just start throwing little pieces in? You can divvy it up into 50. You can divvy it up into 10. You can divvy it up into 5, like whatever chunks. Put it a little here. You put it on, and you can say, okay, well, maybe at 60 I'll put in a little more. 50 I'll put in a little 40. You know, just layer it down. That's my favorite way of doing it, and it takes very little effort, energy, attention. You just set it and forget it. Dutch Carnival. Oh my god, my body is exploding. We've only been live 25 minutes. It feels like I've been live for hours. One more leg down, probably. I think we got to move up first. Bitcoin's where Google was in April of 25. I hope so. What do I think about the gap above 84K? The gap after 84K? Or the gap at 117? This is how I got it. My friends. McPooch, my guy. Thank you for gifting the memberships. You're a G. I appreciate you. Everybody give Pooch a little heart there. I guess the festival has entered his heart. That guy, John Green, who just got a membership, has... Oh, wait. I was going to say the Alabama symbol. I was thinking Mitch Ray. But that's... Mitch Ray didn't invent that. Got a gap here. You can measure it like this if you want from 81.6, which like fits better because that's like right here at the low. What do I think about them? I think if 84 comes, even 81, they are great places to look for a short. Unfortunately, a great short. If you're looking for another gap, I'm not sure what exactly you're pointing to. There's probably a sliver here, right? Is there? There's a sliver. There's like a $5 gap right here. I wouldn't really count that one. $65 gap. I wouldn't really count that one. And outside of that, you got to go all the way to like 17K. What do I think of them? Yeah, 84, great short. 95, probably also a great short if it comes. 95 still like not out of trouble though, right? You're like, oh, we come back up. You still have to hold a higher low to get upward pressure. We do have an unfilled gap below us. We touched it virtually perfectly. I'm looking at the week. They should be the same gaps though. Yeah, the same gaps. Virtually perfectly, but didn't actually fill it at all. Just came down and touched it at 60K, which is really weird. Really weird to not see that fill. People front run it. 60K, below that 54, and below that 39. We get all the way down. What do I think XRP will do? Oh man, follow Bitcoin probably. If Bitcoin bounces here, XRP is probably gonna bounce here. Bitcoin fails to do anything, falls lower, and XRP is probably going lower. It certainly doesn't look great. Not looking great. Could see it moving back to 160 where it fell from. That would be, you know, a pretty similar move to Bitcoin looking back at well, 150 we'll call it. Bitcoin continues this into the weekend. I think XRP moves to 150. You're currently at 141, so that's not a big move. But that would be about the equivalent. Maybe 160 if you squeeze it out. It would be weird to me to see XRP fall farther without slowly filling like 180. This was very favored support here. Goes back pretty far. Has not been tested as resistance. I could see that. I'd be more likely to short than long at 180 though. Yeah. $1, I think $1 is a great target. I really do. I'm surprised it fell to 111 and didn't fill $1. We were talking about $1 back here, and we got so close. Ethereum. Oh, Ethereum. Ethereum. I had hopes for you, bud. Now you're looking like shit. Ethereum has to reverse, dude. If it doesn't reverse like now, I don't know what it's gonna do. Like if it doesn't reverse at 1750, I don't know. You're back to testing like 1500 lows. I think you're back to like April lows. Obviously, I'll say the same thing. If Bitcoin rallies, Ethereum will likely rally. If Bitcoin falls, takes another leg down, so will Ethereum. With very high confidence. Shit. Oh, boys. I didn't really look at coin. We were looking for a bounce on coin. It did. All right, so officially has broken like 150 on Thursday, Friday, yeah, yesterday. Officially broke. It closed down. I was looking for this little 618 retracements like 209. I still think you're gonna get some kind of relief here, but now with that break and that candle close, I mean, I'm definitely looking for a lower high. I think you could have longed the 150. I think the time for longs is over right now on Coinbase. I think. Yeah. Something like that. Take a scalpy poo. 209 even a little high for me, but I'll take it. 209, 210. Yeah. This does not look great. This is weird. You have flat bottom, your highs are coming up. The flat bottom is just unignorable. Oh my. Oh, boys. Optical, I love your videos. Trying to be more personable. Shades only during FOC? I don't know. I just decided I'm gonna wear them all the time. Really, they're getting hard to find too, and the ones I have are all fucked up. They're all scratched up and stuff. And things were getting scary, you know, bear markety, spooky, and I figured people connect better when they can see a face. It's never a secret anyway. Oh, man, Bitcoin, just do something. What do you invest in? Tunes can help? Yeah, they could. Honestly, guys, I feel like such shit. Probably not even worth putting on tunes. Ugh. Getting sick through the speakers, my bad. I know, it's gross. Zcash today? Metis? I don't know, bros. Pippin. I don't know. The future's not what it used to be. It feels that way. It does feel that way. Honestly, you guys know I love to just bang out charts, do a bunch of requests for you all, but man, I'm sick as a dog. Sick as a dog. I did want to come on and just be here, just make, show face, do something, look at charts. I think we did that. If you want more, you should join the Discord, discord.gg/TomCrown. Sign up with our exchange partners. Subscribe, tune in Monday when I swear to God I better be feeling better. Ooh, James, I'm sorry, I didn't see your £2 super chat. Paracetamol fund. I don't know, what is that? Antibiotics. Yeah, tune in Monday. I'll be feeling better. We'll do a better episode. I just wanted to come on, show you guys I'm still here, still vibing. Give a little wrap up into the weekend, but yeah, I think that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna stop here. You're all the best. Thanks for putting up with me being late and sick and all this bullshit. Better stuff coming Monday.